I'm going to draw your attention instead, we're going to move on to Exhibit 19. Statement, the transcript of her interview with Special Agent Meixner on May 6, 2010. What do we learn from this interview?
The beginning portion, she doesn't really talk about Friday night at all. She again talks about getting up Saturday morning, going to the farm. A little bit about drinking.
Now, you were present for William May and Christina Holler's testimony, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And what was the time frame upon which they said that they made their reports to the Minot Police Department?
in 2008.
And this interview with Agent Meixner was what year again?
2010.
Okay. Surrounding the conversation.
Objection, Your Honor. I don't believe there was an interview with Ms. Rice and Ms. Meixner that they're referring to.
The transcripts and evidence.
If I'm following correctly, Counsel, it was May 6th of 2010.
Okay.
The interview with Ms. Officer Meixner,
Okay.
Yes.
Exhibit 19. So the question again, Ms. Sorgan?
Thank you, Your Honor. Sergeant, with regards to that section that you just referenced where she was talking about drinking, what was that conversation?
She made a comment that people tend to babble and talk too much when they're drinking, which is why she no longer drinks.
Had she and Agent Meixner been talking about drinking prior to that point?
No,
Was there any question posed to her about anyone making a drunken statement?
no.
Did the defendant talk about her relationship with Anita during that conversation?
I'd have to double check that. In most conversations that she had with investigators, she talked about how they were best friends. She saw herself as Anita's protector, bodyguard. Anytime an investigator brought up information that they had received about them fighting or arguing, she downplayed it.
Okay. Specifically fighting about what?
The alarm clock, the fish tank. Primarily, those were the issues that came up.
Okay. And when you say she downplayed it, what do you mean?
She would just say things like, oh, we have typical little roommate disagreements, nothing major.
Permission to approach, Your Honor?
You may.
Sergeant, I'm going to show you what's been received into evidence. It states Exhibits 12A through O. And Sergeant Goodman has already established that those were text messages sent from the defendant to Anita. What are the dates of those text messages?
April 21st of 2007.
So approximately 2 months before Anita died, correct?
Correct.
What do those text messages say?
Would you like me to read them? Or
Yes,
just-
please.
So this message says, okay, so next time you leave and don't plan on coming back in the morning and lock your door because God knows I'm dying to get in there, shut the fucking alarm off so I don't have to listen to it all morning when I can be sleeping. And just for the heads up, my dad and I are going to talk to the landlord ASAP and see what we can do, because honestly, I have no idea what I did to make you, what I did to you to make you all of a sudden be all weird on me, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I sure as hell ain't going to put up with it till December. Well, and that's abbreviated, Dece. This sucks, and I may sound like a bitch. But what goes around comes around. I have tried the being nice strategy, and that just obviously didn't get the point across. Really, there isn't anything to talk about. I was just letting you know the 411. I am trying to sleep, in all caps, and ignore this alarm. Things shouldn't have gotten like this in the first place. I didn't do shit to deserve it, but whatever. I am done discussing this. Oh, and by the way, I really, that's, that one cuts off there. I think that was supposed to be realized. The next message says, are you going to move out or am I, if we can get out of this lease if one of us leaves? This is causing me problems with my family because my stress level is very high on this subject. Seriously, what died I do to you? I ain't ever home. You pretty much have the effing place to yourself, for Christ's sake.
Sergeant, was it your understanding from the investigation that the alarm clock issue was limited to just April?
Yes,
Okay, was just in April.
I only heard of the one incident.
All right. Based on this, based on the investigation, did the hostilities cease because of the alarm clock issue?
No,
Okay. And what was your understanding of the nature of the hostilities?
they just weren't getting along. They weren't good roommates. One liked to be clean, one was messy. Anita felt uncomfortable when Nichole would bring people over to the apartment and then she would leave to go to work and leave the people there with her that she didn't know.
Okay. Sergeant, drawing your attention to your interview with the defendant on March 12th of 2022. Were there also inconsistencies in her timeline in that interview?
Yes.
Okay. And how did that interview differ from the prior interviews?
In this particular interview, she left out anything about watching movies at her aunt's house. Again, she had said a slightly different version of what she did on Sunday. She didn't talk anything about beating necklaces. I think this may be the one where she talked about going to shoot gophers on Sunday instead of checking cows or beating. She couldn't remember at this juncture if it had been Friday night or Saturday morning that she had gone back to the farm. And she had gone to the bar in Russo, and she had stayed until 11 or 12 p.m. and then got back to the farm. And then she went to sleep on the couch.
Okay. During the course of these interviews, did the defendant offer any of her theories as to who might have hurt Anita?
She did, I think, when she spoke to Detective Goodman. And And then I think, if I remember correctly, she may have offered one when I spoke to her as well.
Okay. Did she identify the same person in all of these interviews?
No.
In the very first interview that she gave with Detective Barnard, did she identify anybody that she thought could have done this?
No.
Okay. Anybody who was mad at Anita?
No.
In the interview with Sergeant Goodman, Exhibit 13, did she identify, could she identify anybody particular that she thinks would have done this?
I believe that was the interview where she said Nathan Tickerhoof was a possible suspect.
Okay. And did the police investigate Nathan Tickerhoof?
Yes.
And what did the police determine about that?
He had no involvement.
How about her interview with Special Agent Meixner? Who did she identify in that one?
I'm not entirely sure. Like I said, I apologize. It's tough to keep them all straight.
Fair to say, different stories, correct?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor, she's testifying.
Sustained.
In the interview with Agent Meixner, was she able to identify anybody that was particularly mad at Anita?
No.
How'd she refer to herself as in reference to Anita?
Her bodyguard.
She'd call herself Anita's bodyguard.
Yes.
Did she ever mention Marty and Nell during that interview?
I know she mentioned Marty and Ellen in one of the interviews.
What did she mention with regards to Marty?
I believe she said that people are saying it was probably him.
And did she keep with that theory?
I don't believe she had one opinion one way or the other.
Was there a point where she was talking about Marty having committed suicide?
I'm not sure.
Your Honor, if I could approach, got the copy of the
You may.
statements up there. Nichole make any specific comments with regards to how she felt about Anita during this interview?
Yes.
What'd she say?
She said, I loved her. She was my best friend. She meant the world to me. And honest to God, I looked up to her like, oh my gosh, I wish I could be like her.
Sergeant, you were present for Matthew Hansen's testimony, and you were also present, you also read through that information in the investigation, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Did it come to your attention during the investigation that the defendant had moved to New Mexico?
Yes.
Okay. When did that happen?
New Mexico happened in 2008.
Okay. Did she move someplace else before that?
She moved to Arizona,
Okay. When did that happen?
2007.
And in relation to when Anita died, how soon after that did she move to Arizona?
It's believed to be immediately following, within a month or two.
Okay. And approximately when did she come back from Arizona?
I believe she was only in Arizona for a few months. She came back in the fall of 2008.
Okay. And then she relocated to New Mexico in 2008?
Excuse me, I misspoke. She came back from Arizona in the fall of 2007, and then she went to New Mexico in 2008.
And were you able to determine when she came back from New Mexico?
In July of 2008.
Now, there was a work trip that she had won. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. When was that trip supposed to be?
I don't know if there's a specific date for that trip.
Okay. Do you know if she did go on that trip?
By all accounts, she did not.
And why was that?
She left the job and she left the state.
And you're aware of the statements that she made to Brenda Glynns in July of 2008?
Correct.
Okay. How does that match up with the statements that she gave to law enforcement as far as her timeline is concerned?
I don't believe she ever told law enforcement that she left the state, that she had moved to Arizona or New Mexico. The statements that she made to Brenda were something completely different than what she had told law enforcement.